Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Uh, this time around, we have a different part of the Musings of the Knights of Rizal. Know Your Knights, as you know, is about Knights of Rizal all over the world. We pick their brains and they share their experiences with the Knights of Rizal. But this time around, with the Musings of the Knights of Rizal, it's kind of different because now we have a fellow, which I will introduce later, that is not a member of the Knights of Rizal, but it was a part of the KAPARIZ and the NRYLI way back. So with this is our intended audience are still Knights of Rizal and Rizalists, and maybe again just pick his brain about his experience in Rizalism and his experience in what he does as a historian in terms of the story of Jose Rizal. So without further ado, Sir Robert, would you like to introduce yourself po?
Yes, good afternoon, good morning, good evening to everyone, to the audiences and listeners of Musings of a Nights. Thank you very much for inviting. I am Attorney Robert Jan Donesa. I am a historian and a lawyer sometimes, but most of the time a historian. And I am also a professor of history and Rizal in many higher education institutions in the Philippines. And way back when I was taking up my Bachelor of Arts in History at Mindanao State University in Marawi City, I am a very active member and officer of Kabataang Pangarap ni Rizal MSU chapter. And every year, we send delegations to the National Rizal Youth Leadership Institute, sponsored and organized by the Order of the Knights of Rizal in Baguio City. It happened during December, during Christmas. And thousands of youth all over the Philippines gathered and get trainings, leadership, especially with sprinkle of Rizalian qualities, Rizalian traits, and Rizalian leadership principles. So I was one of the alumni there. I grew up with that with that training in me, so that I still brought with me the idealistic even after some 25 years already that has passed.
Now, sir, for those who might like to reminisce, what time frame are we talking about when you
Yeah,
attended the NRYLI and was active in KAPARIZ back in Marawi City?
yes. Uh, I was in Marawi City in 1993 to 1997. That was when I was taking up my Bachelor of Arts in History. And I was sent to the National Rizal Youth Leadership Institute in 1996, December 15 to 1996. And that was the 34th National Rizal Youth Leadership Institute. And the first International Rizal Youth Assembly. Um, it was actually the time of around the time of the centennial of the martyrdom of Dr. Jose Rizal. So that was a big event
That's
during
right.
my day. Oh yeah, because it's the centennial of Rizal's death,
That's right, in
and
1896. That's correct.
yeah, and that was it was also the first time that the Order of the Knights of Rizal shifted it, not only a national event but an international event. So that was the first international Rizal Youth Assembly. And I was so young then. I was only 20, 21 years old. And it was also my second time in Baguio City. Baguio City is very far from Mindanao, and to go to that place is a dream of every young individual. And that dream, when granted by the because of the Rizal Leadership Institute, it is more meaningful. A youthful dream plus attending a leadership institute. No? We had the Quiz B back then, a national Rizal Quiz B, which is a very highly coveted trophy. And then each and every school would have the best and the brightest students, no? Who knew about Rizal, his life, his works, and his writings. They would compete against each other, who's faster, who's more intelligent, who's brighter. And we also have essay writing contests. And Rizal, outstanding Jose Rizal model students of the Philippines.
Now, let me ask you, going back when you were in 1996, how did you come about joining the NRYLI? Who brought it up for you? Who invited you? How did it come about that you went? And maybe how many in your delegation? Maybe in either in Marawi City or in Mindanao proper?
When I was at Mindanao State University, Kabataang Pangarap ni Rizal is one of the famous student organizations. It is famous in the sense that it is the favorite organization among the intellectuals, young intellectuals. And then the advisor of the organization, Dean Professor Bonifacio Takata, was also very active in sending delegations yearly to the National Rizal Youth Leadership Institute. So first year, when you are in first year at Mindanao State University, you're already aware of the NRYLI. And before you graduate, it is a goal. Like if you don't go there, then you cannot say you're a KAPARIZ at all. So everybody would do their best because Mindanao State University during that time would only send the best and the brightest KAPARIZ members. And besides the 10 representatives, we also screen out among our students from 6,000 students of Mindanao State University. We screen out the representative to the Quiz D. That is why the year before I went to the NRYLI, we won champion. And during our time, we didn't. De La Salle toppled us down. But the year before, Mindanao State University became the grand champion, and we're one of the best delegations. But during our time, there was no contest best delegation. And the venue is also beautiful.
Come on, yeah. Back in the day, you know, when you say Baguio, it's a big deal. You know, especially maybe if you're so far away in the south. You know? Now, sir, is there any fun memories during your NRYLI days that you remember that you can share with us?
Yes. So much fun memories. I collected the signatures of everyone during that time, especially the KOR officers and members. But I lost it. Although I still have my Knights of Rizal certificate to that event.
In 96?
In 1996, yes. It was held at the Carlos P. Romulo Hall, Junior Mess Teachers Camp, Baguio City. And our theme was Rizal's Martyrdom, a national commitment to greatness. The Supreme Commander during the time is Sir Helio M. Kiambao, KGCR. And
Yes.
Mr. Ambet Ocampo was our guest speaker, and he was really a comedian historian. He was really funny, and uh, the most memorable thing during the event was really the commingling with students, with student leaders all over the country. Memorable event. Meeting my classmates in high school, because I didn't realize that during high school, your classmates go to different colleges. Some go to Mindanao, some go to Visayas, to University of San Carlos in Cebu, some goes to Manila. And then I didn't know that they are also leaders in their
Wow.
respective universities. And we met in Baguio. Ah, you're here. And
Yeah. I bet that was fun
yeah, that
meeting
was
old
fun.
friends.
And
It's like
then
having a reunion in a very nice place in Baguio.
there I realized that not everybody knew Rizal. So from the sharings, um, many started to knew Rizal. It's so surprising that um, Rizal's principles, even after 100 years during his death, after his death, were still valuable. Um,
Mhm.
we were at the conclusion during that time that if Rizal is still alive, he will be crying, because the situation he died for is the same situation 100 years after. Corruption is still there, poverty is still there, discrimination is still there, racial discrimination is still there. So that's the, how young people think they're very creative.
Idealistic.
Yes, idealistic. And exactly, Sir Alvin. I still have the idealism right now, even after 25 years after the NRYLI. I still brought it with me. I believe that I believe in the writings of Rizal, in several of his writings, I believe that he wants us to be at our best, rooted in our culture, rooted in our traditions. He only wants us to be the best of who we are. Um, and he himself modeled it. He doesn't want to sleep. He almost did not want to sleep just to hone his skills. After reading and writing, he goes fencing, painting.
Yes.
He and on that point, sir, I do not see anything wrong with being a maid, but be the best Filipino maid that you can be. Bring your culture with you, be proud of it, and show the world what Filipinos are all about: a loving people, a caring people, a nationalistic people, a God-fearing people, people who believed in themselves, chased their wildest dreams no matter what these dreams are, even overseas, even beyond big waves.
Actually, Filipinos are really all over. I was surprised when somebody told me in the course of my interview that there was this Belgian soldier who met a Filipina um, in Afghanistan, and they hit it off. But yeah, Filipinos are everywhere, especially now with the ease of transportation, and we are very very well well thought of uh, in internationally.
Yes,
They always say that we are industrious. We never give up, just like what you said. Uh, we are always working, so they like that in that way. But sir, in your point of view, is there anybody close to what the character of Jose Rizal is in contemporary times?
hmm. Precise
Somebody
like a
close.
comet.
Some would say, maybe in the political arena, maybe in the literature arena, maybe in the academia?
Rizal was like a comet. He comes once
Once a
every
century?
100 years, once a century. Paano ko ba? Edit mo na lang yung Tagalog ko, sir. But
Yeah. No, I can put translation at
okay.
unless
Naglalaro sa mind ko si Miriam Defensor Santiago.
why is that, sir?
Because I see in Miriam Santiago the passion for knowledge that Rizal had. When she was studying at UP in the Visayas, not a single moment that she wasted. Even if she's sick, she studied so hard, and I saw that in Rizal. Even if it was he was not feeling well, he reads, he writes, and everything is calculated to help his fellow men. Everything is even if it's so cold here. He wrote freely in a very cold season. It's snowing outside, and he's he's feeling so cold and still writing.
That's right.
And he drove himself almost to a point of getting sick because of studying. He studied at the British Library, the British Museum, just to prove that Filipinos have civilization even before the Spaniards came,
Okay.
just to prove that Filipinos have culture, traditions, and they are not lazy as what the Spaniards would like to project. Um, he gave everything, and even if Filipinos right now would be discouraged if they don't have money. I realized that the more that Rizal was deprived of money in Europe, the more he works so hard. Uh, I and also Miriam was so um, blatantly fearless and fierce. If Miriam Defensor Santiago was fiery in her words, Rizal is as fiery in his writings as she is in her words. And uh, although of course it's a different era,
That's
and
right.
thus that she need not die. But if she was alive at the time of Rizal, she might have get executed as well. Miriam.